The Mediterranean is more than just a body of water. It is a living tapestry woven through the heart of 3 continents, a world where land and sea embrace in endless dialogue. It is a world unto itself, a shimmering expanse where the horizon blurs into myth and memory, and the sun's golden light dances across endless blue. As the planet's largest semi-enclosed sea, the Mediterranean stretches across 2.5 million square kilometers, a vast cradle of water nestled between the ancient bones of Africa, Europe, and Asia. Its very name, Mare Mediterraneum, means the sea in the middle of the land, a fitting title for a place that has shaped the destiny of continents, a silent witness to the slow turning of the ages. Its 46,000-kilometre coastline is a living mosaic where rugged cliffs rise like sentinels above the restless surf, and sun-drenched beaches unfurl in gentle arcs, kissed by the warmth of 1,000 sunsets, while arid shores stretch into the distance, their sands whispering secrets to the wind. This incredible diversity of land and sea has shaped a world of astonishing variety beneath the waves, where forests of seagrass sway in the currents and coral gardens bloom in hidden coves. The Mediterranean is a world both connected and contained, a blue heart pulsing at the crossroads of continents. Its primary gateway to the open ocean is the Strait of Gibraltar, a narrow channel just 14 kilometers wide, where the Atlantic's breath mingles with the Mediterranean's soul. Through this slender passage, cold, nutrient-rich waters pour in, infusing the western basin with life and setting the stage for a symphony of currents and tides. This constant exchange is the lifeblood of the sea, stirring up nutrients, shaping the seasons, and nurturing a delicate balance that has endured for eons. The Mediterranean's geography has dictated the flow of water, the migration of creatures, and the rise and fall of tides, making it a natural crossroads for all that drifts or swims. It is the very reason the sea was able to refill after a colossal geological event nearly 6 million years ago, when the basin lay dry and desolate, only to be reborn in a cataclysmic flood that carved new life into its depths. Along its shores, time has etched silent monuments in stone, remnants of vanished worlds that once gazed out over these waters, their stories now told only by the wind and the waves. The sea itself has been a silent highway, its surface reflecting the passage of countless vessels, drifting on the currents, guided by the stars and shaped by the ceaseless rhythm of the tides. The constellations above have long served as guides, their patterns mirrored in the gentle undulations of the sea below. The Mediterranean's waters have carried the weight of empires and the dreams of distant lands, its surface a stage for the drama of nature and time. Through every age, the sea has remained a constant, a unifying presence that binds together the lands that surround it. Today, the Mediterranean's role has evolved, its surface crisscrossed by the wakes of modern vessels, yet its ancient rhythms endure beneath the hum of engines and the sweep of propellers. It remains a vital artery, connecting the waters of Europe, Africa, and Asia through narrow straits and winding channels, its currents weaving together the fates of distant lands. The Strait of Sicily, another narrow passage, marks the meeting point of east and west, a place where waters mingle and new worlds begin. Beneath the wakes of passing ships, a hidden world flourishes, an astonishing biodiversity that makes the Mediterranean a global hotspot for marine life. Here, in the shifting light, creatures both familiar and strange glide through forests of kelp and meadows of seagrass, their lives woven into the fabric of the sea. This is a sea of profound contrasts, where ancient geological forces and the relentless pulse of nature collide, shaping a world of beauty and complexity. To understand the Mediterranean is to glimpse a microcosm of our planet's oceans, their grandeur, their fragility, and the delicate balance that sustains them. Its story is deep and ancient, written in the language of water and stone, and it continues to unfold with every passing wave. The Mediterranean Sea is a biological treasure chest, a vibrant and crowded world that, despite its modest size, harbors a dazzling array of life forms. Its waters shimmer with color and movement, each layer revealing new marvels. Over 17,000 marine species have been documented here, and the list grows with every new discovery. The reefs are alive with ornate wrasses, their scales flashing iridescent blues and greens as they dart among the rocks, while the elusive dusky grouper, a true giant of the reefs, waits in ambush, blending perfectly with its surroundings. Nearly a third of these species are found nowhere else on Earth. The Mediterranean red starfish clings to rocks, its arms outstretched in search of prey, while the rare purple sea urchin grazes quietly among the seagrass. The painted comber, with its striking stripes, hovers near coral heads, and the secretive Mediterranean moray eel peers from its lair, waiting for nightfall to hunt. These creatures have evolved in isolation, perfectly attuned to the Mediterranean's unique blend of warm currents and nutrient-rich upwellings. Ornate sea slugs glide gracefully over rocks, their bodies adorned with vibrant patterns, while the slipper lobster, armored and ancient, scuttles along the sandy bottom. The cardinal fish with its luminous eyes finds refuge among the waving blades of seagrass. The sea's remarkable concentration of life is shaped by its complex history and a mosaic of habitats: lush seagrass meadows that sway in the shallows, mysterious underwater caves, and the deep silent plains that stretch into the abyss. At the foundation of this ecosystem are its smallest residents. Swarms of copepods and amphipods drift in the currents, forming the base of the food web. Tiny jellyfish pulse gently in the sunlight, while larval fish, nearly transparent, navigate the plankton-rich waters. Over 11,000 invertebrate species, corals, sponges, sea anemones, nudibranchs, and mussels, create the intricate architecture of the marine world. Corals form living reefs, sponges filter vast quantities of water, and sea anemones wave their tentacles to capture passing prey. These invertebrates provide food and shelter for countless others. Hermit crabs scuttle across the sand, exchanging shells in a silent dance, while sea cucumbers clean the seabed, recycling nutrients. Brittle stars hide beneath rocks, emerging at night to feed. The noble pen shell, Pinna nobilis, once stood like a sentinel in the seagrass meadows, its fan-shaped shell providing refuge for juvenile fish and a haven for countless tiny creatures. Its presence was a keystone in the ecosystem, filtering water and supporting a miniature world of life. The pen shell's struggle for survival is a stark reminder of the delicate balance that sustains these unique lifeforms. Its decline leaves a void in the seagrass meadows, affecting all who depended on its shelter and services. Swimming through this invertebrate world is a spectacular cast of over 650 fish species. Damselfish form swirling shoals, wrasses hunt among the corals, and blennies peek from rocky crevices, each playing a role in the intricate web of life. The humble sardine forms immense shimmering shoals, moving as one to evade predators. Anchovies dart through open water, their silvery bodies flashing in the sun, while small predators give chase in a never-ending ballet. At the top of the food chain, the Atlantic bluefin tuna reigns supreme. These powerful hunters slice through the water with astonishing speed, their muscular bodies built for long migrations and explosive bursts of energy as they pursue their prey. Rocky reefs are patrolled by colourful wrasses and formidable groupers, while parrotfish graze on algae, keeping the reefs healthy. Ornate gobies rest on rocks, ever watchful for passing threats. On the sandy bottoms, flatfish lie perfectly camouflaged, their eyes peering up from the grains, while rays glide gracefully above, stirring up clouds of sediment in search of hidden prey. Dragonets display brilliant courtship colours, adding flashes of blue and orange to the muted sands. Each species has carved out its own niche, from the cleaner fish that tend to larger species, removing parasites, to the predators and prey locked in a daily struggle for survival. The Mediterranean is a stage for countless dramas, each vital to the balance of the ecosystem. Larger, air-breathing animals add another layer of wonder. Pods of dolphins leap and play in the open sea, their clicks and whistles echoing through the water. The mighty fin whale, the second largest animal on Earth, glides silently through the depths, a gentle giant in search of krill and small fish. 5 of the world's 7 sea turtle species can be found here. The loggerhead turtle migrates vast distances to nest on sandy beaches, while green turtles graze on seagrass meadows. Hatchlings emerge from the sand and race toward the waves, beginning their perilous journey. Above the waves, over 500 species of seabirds fill the skies. The European shag dives with precision, while Atlantic puffins nest on rugged cliffs, their beaks filled with fish. Cormorants spread their wings to dry in the sun, ever watchful for their next meal. Together these extraordinary creatures form a dynamic and interconnected web of life. From the tiniest plankton to the largest whale, each species plays a vital role in maintaining the balance and beauty of the Mediterranean's natural heritage. The Mediterranean Sea is not a single uniform expanse, but a mosaic of distinct basins, each shaped by its own currents, depths, and histories. At the heart of this dynamic system lies the Western Mediterranean, where the Atlantic Ocean's influence is both profound and constant. The Western Mediterranean stretches from the narrow gateway of the Strait of Gibraltar to the island of Sicily. Here the Atlantic's pulse beats strongest as powerful oceanic currents surge through the strait, carrying with them the cool, oxygen-rich waters of the open Atlantic. This inflow is not a simple trickle, but a complex, layered current system. At the surface, the Atlantic water pours in, less salty and cooler than the Mediterranean, while deeper below, denser, saltier Mediterranean water flows out into the Atlantic, creating a perpetual exchange that shapes both seas. This constant renewal brings a surge of nutrients into the Western Basin, fueling vast blooms of plankton, the foundation of the marine food web. The mixing of waters stirs up sediments and minerals from the seabed, further enriching the ecosystem. These plankton blooms attract immense shoals of small fish, such as sardines and anchovies, which migrate along the currents in search of food. Their abundance, in turn, draws in larger predators, tuna, dolphins, and swordfish, creating a living tapestry of movement and energy. Among the beneficiaries of this bounty is the loggerhead sea turtle. These ancient mariners navigate the currents, their powerful jaws perfectly adapted to crush the hard shells of crabs and mollusks that thrive in these nutrient-rich waters. After hatching on distant eastern beaches, young loggerheads embark on a remarkable journey. Carried by the Atlantic-driven currents, they drift through the Western Basin during their so-called lost years, growing and feeding in these productive waters before returning as adults. The Atlantic's influence also brings visitors from afar, like the Atlantic puffin. Though more commonly associated with the northern coast, some find sanctuary along the rocky Mediterranean shores, their presence a testament to the region's unique blend of marine life. Puffins are masters of underwater flight, using their wings to dive and chase fish beneath the waves. Their remarkable beaks, lined with backward-facing spines, allow them to catch and hold multiple fish at once, a vital adaptation for feeding their chicks in coastal colonies. The Western Mediterranean is a true crossroads, where Atlantic and Mediterranean species mingle. Migratory fish, turtles, and even some whales follow the currents through the strait, while unique local species have evolved to thrive in this ever-changing environment. Beneath the surface, the seafloor tells a story of geological drama. The deep Algerian and Tyrrhenian basins, underwater ridges and submerged canyons all play a role in channeling currents and shaping habitats, creating refuges for countless species. Here, the Atlantic's pulse is more than a current. It is the lifeblood of a thriving, intricate ecosystem. This zone of transition, where two great bodies of water meet and mingle, supports some of the sea's most iconic and beloved creatures and sets the stage for the Mediterranean's grand story of life. The productive waters of the Western Mediterranean are a magnet for some of the ocean's most magnificent and intelligent animals. Beneath the waves, a world of drama and strategy unfolds every day as these creatures navigate the challenges of survival. Here, in the deep-water canyons and open seas, giants roam. These vast underwater landscapes provide both sanctuary and hunting grounds for the ocean's titans. Among them is the fin whale, the second largest animal on Earth. Each spring, these gentle giants glide through the Mediterranean, following ancient migratory routes that have been passed down through generations. Often called the greyhound of the sea, this streamlined behemoth can reach speeds of over 46 kilometers per hour. When a fin whale accelerates, it can cover vast distances in search of food, sometimes traveling hundreds of kilometers in just a few days. It possesses a curious and unique feature. Its jaw is asymmetrically colored, dark on the left side and strikingly white on the right. This remarkable adaptation is more than just a quirk of nature. It plays a vital role in the whale's hunting strategy. When a fin whale lunges through a dense school of krill, the flash of its white jaw is thought to startle and disorient its prey, making them easier to engulf in a single powerful sweep. This breathtaking spectacle of power and precision is a testament to the whale's evolutionary mastery. The region is also home to a fascinating population of Risso's dolphins. These social and enigmatic creatures travel in tight-knit pods, communicating with a complex array of clicks and whistles as they navigate the open sea. Risso's dolphins are born a uniform grey, but as they age, their bodies become covered in a network of white scars. Each mark tells a story of play, rivalry, and the challenges of hunting in the deep. These dolphins are expert squid hunters. Using coordinated group tactics, they herd their slippery prey into tight balls, then take turns diving in for the catch. Their powerful jaws and sharp teeth are perfectly adapted for gripping the elusive cephalopods. Specializing in hunting at night, Risso's dolphins dive deep into the inky darkness, relying on their sophisticated echolocation to track down squid hidden far below the surface. In these silent depths, their clicks and pulses become a lifeline, painting a sonic map of the world around them. The ghostly, scarred appearance of an old Risso's dolphin tells the story of a long life filled with battles and social encounters in the deep sea. Each individual is a living chronicle, bearing the marks of countless adventures and close calls. At the very top of the food chain, two legendary predators patrol these waters. Their presence shapes the entire ecosystem, as every creature below them must adapt to survive. A small genetically distinct population of orcas, or killer whales, resides near the Strait of Gibraltar. These apex predators are renowned for their intelligence and complex social structures. Living in matriarch-led family pods, orcas in the Mediterranean have developed a unique culture centered around hunting Atlantic bluefin tuna. Working together, they use coordinated attacks to outsmart and exhaust their powerful prey. Delete. In a dramatic display of nature's hierarchy, these orcas are one of the only known predators of the great white shark. When orcas hunt sharks, they use precise teamwork, flipping their massive prey upside down to induce a state of immobility before delivering a fatal blow. The Atlantic bluefin tuna itself is a marvel of evolution. These fish are built for speed and endurance, with bodies shaped like living torpedoes. Bluefin tuna are warm-blooded, allowing them to maintain a body temperature higher than the surrounding water. This adaptation gives them explosive bursts of speed, over 70 kilometers per hour, making them formidable hunters and elusive prey. Born in the Mediterranean, many bluefin tuna embark on epic migrations across the Atlantic Ocean, only to return years later to their birthplace to spawn. Their journeys are among the longest and most demanding in the animal kingdom. Delete. Moving eastward, beyond the influence of the Atlantic, we enter the central Mediterranean, a vast aquatic expanse where the sea's character transforms dramatically. This region, stretching roughly between Sardinia and the coasts of Tunisia and Libya, is a world of profound depth and increasing salinity, where sunlight fades quickly and the water's clarity reveals a realm of mystery. The waters here are clearer, older, and less nutrient-rich than those in the west, creating a challenging environment for life. This basin contains the Hellenic Trench, home to the Calypso Deep, the Mediterranean's deepest point, which plunges to an astonishing 5,100 meters, an abyss where pressure and darkness reign. Life in this central zone must be more specialized, evolving unique strategies to survive in a world where resources are scarce and the environment is unforgiving. Here the open water stretches endlessly and the darkness below is absolute, a place where only the most adaptable can thrive. Small fish and invertebrates must constantly search for food, relying on acute senses and efficient energy use to survive in this nutrient-poor expanse. This is the domain of the sperm whale, the largest toothed predator on the planet. Its enormous head, which makes up nearly a third of its body length, houses the remarkable spermaceti organ, a complex structure filled with a waxy substance that is key to its survival in the deep. This organ enables the whale to focus its powerful clicks for echolocation, allowing it to navigate and hunt in total darkness, where vision is useless and sound becomes the only guide. Sperm whales are champions of the deep, capable of diving to depths of over 2,200 meters and holding their breath for up to 90 minutes, an extraordinary feat of endurance and adaptation. In the abyssal canyons, they hunt for giant squid, using their echolocation to detect even the faintest movement in the blackness. The Mediterranean population is a distinct and endangered unit, a small clan of giants clinging to existence, their survival dependent on the delicate balance of this unique ecosystem. Another master of the deep found here is the striped dolphin, a specialist in speed and agility. These beautiful and energetic animals are often called streakers for their incredible speed and acrobatic behavior. Their streamlined bodies and powerful muscles are perfectly adapted for rapid bursts and high leaps. They are known to leap up to 7 meters out of the water, a display of both social bonding and predator evasion. Striped dolphins live in large, complex social groups that can number in the hundreds, a strategy that helps them cooperate in hunting and defend against predators, maximizing their chances of survival in the open sea. At night, these highly social dolphins descend into the mesopelagic zone or twilight zone hundreds of meters below the surface, where the last traces of sunlight vanish and the world turns blue-black. Here they hunt for squid and lanternfish that migrate vertically in the water column, taking advantage of the nightly movement of prey. The central Mediterranean serves as a critical bridge, connecting the productive west with the warmer, saltier east, and acting as a corridor for species adapted to both worlds. It is a region where the abundance of the Atlantic begins to fade, replaced by a world that demands resilience and extreme adaptations, where only the most specialized hunters can persist. The creatures that thrive here, like the deep-diving sperm whale and the agile striped dolphin, are true specialists, each perfectly honed for their niche. Their survival depends on their ability to exploit the vertical expanse of the sea, moving between layers in search of food and safety. They travel between the sunlit surface and the perpetual darkness of the abyss, adapting to extremes of pressure, temperature, and light. In this wild and mysterious heart of the Mediterranean, every creature is a testament to the power of adaptation and the relentless drive to survive. The eastern Mediterranean, stretching from the shores of Greece and Libya to the Levantine coast, is the oldest, hottest, and saltiest part of the sea, a realm shaped by eons of geological and climatic upheaval. For millions of years, this basin has been isolated from the Atlantic's nourishing currents, leaving its waters strikingly clear but severely lacking in nutrients. This oligotrophic condition has persisted since the end of the Miocene, when the Mediterranean nearly dried up, only to be refilled in a cataclysmic flood known as the Zanclean Deluge. In these nutrient-poor waters, ancient lineages of marine life have endured, species whose ancestors swam these seas long before the first humans appeared. Among them are the resilient comb jellies, whose transparent bodies pulse through the blue, and the enigmatic blunt-nosed six-gill shark, a living fossil whose lineage dates back over 200 million years. Yet the delicate balance that allowed these ancient survivors to persist is now being dramatically upended. The Eastern Basin stands at the epicenter of two profound environmental shifts: accelerating climate change and the relentless arrival of new species from distant oceans. Through the Suez Canal, a flood of Indo-Pacific species has entered, forever altering the ancient tapestry of life. Despite these upheavals, the region remains a last refuge for some of the Mediterranean's most ancient and endangered species. The Mediterranean monk seal, whose ancestors once ranged across the entire sea, now clings to survival along remote coastlines and hidden caves. This rarest of seals, a relic of a time when the Mediterranean teemed with marine mammals, has adapted to a life of secrecy and solitude. Once they basked on open beaches, but centuries of disturbance have driven them to the shadows of sea caves. Here in the cool darkness they give birth and nurture their pups, continuing a lineage that stretches back to the last ice age. Their numbers, once perilously low, have shown signs of slow recovery, a testament to the resilience of ancient life. Today perhaps 1,000 individuals remain, a fragile thread connecting the present to the deep past. Another ancient survivor is the dusky shark, a top predator whose lineage has patrolled these waters for millions of years. The dusky shark's life cycle is a marvel of evolutionary endurance, with a gestation period among the longest of any vertebrate, lasting nearly 2 years. This slow pace of reproduction, once an advantage in a stable world, now leaves the species vulnerable to rapid change. In recent years, dusky sharks from distant populations have been drawn to the eastern Mediterranean's warming waters, gathering in places where warm currents and unique conditions echo the ancient seas of their ancestors. These aggregations offer a rare glimpse into the lives of creatures whose evolutionary story began long before the modern world. Here, the ancient rhythms of migration and birth continue even as the environment shifts beneath them. The eastern Mediterranean is a living archive, its waters holding the secrets of species that have survived ice ages, desiccation, and the slow march of continents. It is a place of stark contrasts, where ancient survivors endure alongside newcomers, and the old order is challenged by the relentless tide of change. Here, the struggle for survival is written in the lives of monk seals, dusky sharks, and countless other species whose stories stretch back to the dawn of the sea. But the ecosystem is being fundamentally rewritten as ancient patterns give way to new realities. Endemic species, shaped by millennia of isolation, now face unprecedented competition and predation from invaders. The fate of the eastern Mediterranean is a powerful symbol of the global ocean crisis, a crucible where the ancient and the new collide. Here, the resilience of nature is tested as never before, and the story of ancient survivors continues to unfold beneath the waves. The Mediterranean Sea, a cradle of biodiversity and natural wonder, now faces a convergence of threats that jeopardize its very existence. Pollution and climate change are acting together, amplifying each other's effects and accelerating the decline of this unique marine environment. At the forefront is climate change, which is rapidly altering the sea's delicate balance. The Mediterranean is warming at more than twice the global average, transforming it into a climate change hotspot and reshaping its ecosystems. Between 1982 and 2019, the surface temperature of the sea rose by a staggering 1.3 degrees Celsius, a shift with profound ecological consequences. In the summer of 2024, waters off Corsica reached an unprecedented 30.8 degrees Celsius, a record that signals the intensification of marine heat waves. These heat waves, arriving earlier and with greater intensity, are devastating for sensitive marine life. Corals and gorgonians bleach and die en masse, while seagrass meadows, vital nurseries for countless species, wither and thin, undermining the foundation of the ecosystem. The warming sea is only one part of the crisis. Pollution compounds the damage, infiltrating every layer of the marine environment. Plastic waste accumulates relentlessly, drifting on currents and settling on the sea floor where it persists for decades. An estimated 600,000 tons of plastic enter the Mediterranean each year, making it one of the most polluted seas on the planet. This debris blankets coastlines and infiltrates even the most remote underwater habitats. Over time, plastics fragment into microplastics, tiny particles that are ingested by plankton, fish, and marine mammals alike. These particles accumulate in tissues, disrupt feeding, and introduce toxic chemicals into the food web. Larger debris, such as discarded nets and bags, entangle marine animals, leading to injury, suffocation, and starvation. The toll on wildlife is immense, with countless creatures succumbing to the hazards of a polluted sea. The relentless influx of pollutants transforms once clear waters into a toxic soup, reducing oxygen levels and altering the chemistry of the sea. The Mediterranean is also one of the busiest marine corridors in the world, and the constant movement of vessels introduces another layer of stress. Underwater noise from shipping and sonar creates a persistent cacophony, disrupting the acoustic environment that marine animals depend on for survival. For whales and dolphins, which rely on sound to communicate, navigate, and hunt, this noise pollution is disorienting and often deadly. The masking of their calls and the stress from constant noise can lead to strandings, disorientation, and even death, further threatening already vulnerable populations. The fin whale, whose low-frequency calls once travelled undisturbed for hundreds of kilometres, now faces a sea filled with noise, making communication and migration increasingly difficult. Overexploitation of marine resources further compounds the crisis, as the removal of key species disrupts food webs and weakens ecosystem resilience. Chronic overfishing has decimated populations of commercial fish, leaving behind smaller, less resilient stocks and altering the natural balance of the sea. Destructive fishing methods, such as bottom trawling, scar the seafloor, destroying ancient coral gardens and seagrass beds that are essential for countless marine species. Bycatch, the unintended capture of non-target species, results in the loss of dolphins, sea turtles, sharks, and seabirds, further eroding the region's biodiversity. The cumulative impact of warming, pollution, noise, and over-exploitation is pushing the Mediterranean ecosystem to the brink, threatening the survival of its extraordinary marine life and the intricate web of life beneath the waves. While climate change and pollution pose immense threats, one of the most immediate and visible crises unfolding in the Mediterranean is the biological invasion of non-native species. These invaders are not just statistics, they are living stories, each with a dramatic impact on the underwater world. Imagine a quiet Mediterranean reef, once bustling with native damselfish and wrasse. Suddenly a shadow glides over the corals, a lionfish, its spines fanned out like a warning flag. First recorded in the Mediterranean in 1991, this flamboyant predator from the Indo-Pacific has spread rapidly, especially across the eastern basin. The lionfish is a master of ambush, hovering motionless before striking with lightning speed. Its venomous spines deter native predators, and its appetite is insatiable. In some reefs, the arrival of just a few lionfish has led to the disappearance of up to 80% of small native fish and invertebrates within weeks. The once vibrant reef becomes eerily silent, its food web unravelled by a single invader. The lionfish's story is only one among many. The silver-cheeked toadfish, another recent arrival, is a true super-invader. This fish, with its powerful neurotoxin, thousands of times more potent than cyanide, has no natural enemies in the Mediterranean. It glides through the water, its warning colours flashing, and bites through the shells of crabs and the bodies of native fish with ease. In some areas, Entire schools of toadfish now patrol the reefs, their numbers unchecked. They devour native species, disrupt the balance of the ecosystem, and even damage the delicate structure of the reef itself. The impact of these invaders is not limited to predation. In the eastern Mediterranean, the rabbitfish has become a symbol of transformation. These herbivorous fish, originally from the Red Sea, graze relentlessly on the lush forests of algae that once blanketed the seafloor. Where there was once a tapestry of colour and life, there are now barren stretches of rock, stripped clean by the constant feeding of rabbitfish schools. Native grazers, unable to compete, vanish from the scene, and the entire ecosystem shifts toward monotony. In the shadowy crevices of the reef, native octopuses and crustaceans find themselves hunted by unfamiliar predators. The silver-cheeked toadfish, with its crushing jaws, breaks open shells that once provided safe haven. The lionfish, with its stealth and speed, picks off juvenile fish before they can grow. Even the smallest creatures, shrimp, snails, and sea urchins, are not spared, as the food web is systematically dismantled. These stories are unfolding across the Mediterranean, from the rocky coasts of Greece to the sandy bottoms of Israel. The underwater landscape is changing, not just in appearance, but in identity. The unique biological signature of the Mediterranean is being overwritten by a tide of newcomers, each with their own tale of conquest and disruption. The result is a sea in flux, its future uncertain, its past slipping quietly away beneath the waves. In the face of these overwhelming challenges, a powerful current of hope is beginning to flow across the Mediterranean. The sea, once battered by human hands, is now witnessing a remarkable resurgence of care and commitment, an awakening to the wonders that lie beneath its waves. Across the region, scientists and conservationists are joining forces with local communities, united by a vision to restore the Mediterranean's natural splendor. Their efforts are not just about protection, but about rekindling the vibrant life that once flourished here. The creation of marine protected areas has become a beacon of hope. These sanctuaries, where the sea is allowed to heal, are giving marine life a chance to recover, offering safe havens for fish, dolphins, and ancient sea turtles to thrive once more. As of 2025, over 1,000 marine protected areas have been established, covering nearly 10% of the sea's surface. Each protected zone is a promise, a commitment to let nature reclaim its rhythm. Within these boundaries, the transformation is visible. Damaged reefs begin to pulse with color, schools of fish return in shimmering clouds, and seagrass meadows sway once again, nurturing countless creatures. The momentum for conservation is building as more hands join the effort to restore what was lost. Volunteers and scientists plant seagrass and coral, laying the foundation for new generations of marine life. In a landmark move in 2025, Greece announced the creation of 2 vast new marine parks and a pioneering plan to ban destructive bottom trawling in all its sensitive marine zones by 2030. These parks will become sanctuaries for dolphins, monk seals, and countless fish species, offering hope for their continued survival. The Greek government's pledge of €780 million is more than an investment. It is a lifeline for the sea's fragile ecosystems, ensuring that restoration projects can flourish and marine habitats can be reborn. These bold initiatives echo across the world, aligning with the global Kunming-Montreal framework's call to protect 30% of the world's oceans by 2030. The Mediterranean is becoming a model for how nature can rebound when given the chance. Political will is turning into action, and with every agreement signed, the future for marine life grows brighter. On the seafloor, divers carefully restore coral reefs, while on the shores, volunteers remove debris, giving new hope to habitats that once seemed lost. In France, scientists gently replant coral fragments, nurturing them as they take root and begin to rebuild the intricate underwater cities that shelter so much life. In Spain and Italy, teams work tirelessly to breed the noble pen shell, a gentle giant of the sea, hoping to restore its dwindling numbers and revive the balance of the Mediterranean's unique ecosystems. Each restoration project is a testament to human dedication and nature's resilience. Scientists monitor recovering habitats, witnessing the slow but steady return of life. The future of the Mediterranean hangs in the balance, but beneath the waves a quiet transformation is underway. Every young fish released, every patch of seagrass planted is a step toward renewal, a promise that the sea's wonders will endure. The challenges are immense, but the determination to heal the Mediterranean's natural world has never been stronger. From international agreements to local restoration, every effort is a thread in the tapestry of hope, weaving a future where marine life can flourish once again. The Mediterranean has always been a sea of resilience, surviving storms and the passage of time. Now it is poised for a new era of recovery. With continued care and commitment, the Mediterranean's marvels, its vibrant reefs, teeming fish and gentle giants will inspire and sustain life for generations to come. The story of nature's revival is being written, one wave at a time. Beneath the glimmering surface of the Mediterranean lies a world few have ever seen, a realm shaped by time, tectonics, and the relentless sculpting force of water. Here hidden caves yawn in the shadows, their entrances masked by curtains of swaying seagrass and swirling currents. Within these silent chambers the water is cool and still, sheltering creatures that venture out only in darkness. Tiny, translucent shrimp drift in the gloom, while rare blind lobsters scuttle along the rocky floors, their senses attuned to the faintest vibrations. Rising from the depths, underwater mountains, known as seamounts, form submerged islands of life. These ancient giants, forged by volcanic fire millions of years ago, now anchor ecosystems in the open sea. Their slopes are adorned with forests of Gorgonian corals and bright sponges, each crevice a sanctuary for octopuses and moray eels. Here, currents sweep nutrients upward, fueling explosions of plankton that draw in schools of fish and, at times, the graceful silhouettes of passing sharks. Geological wonders abound beneath the Mediterranean. Deep canyons cut through the sea floor, plunging thousands of meters down into perpetual twilight. In these abyssal valleys, strange life flourishes. Bioluminescent squid pulse with unearthly light, and ancient coelacanths glide silently unchanged for millions of years. Cold seeps and hydrothermal vents bubble with mineral-rich water, creating oases where tube worms and clams thrive, nourished by chemosynthetic bacteria. Each formation is not just rock and water, but a foundation for life. Stalactites and stalagmites in submerged limestone caves create intricate mazes, providing safe haven for rare Mediterranean monk seals and secretive fish. Overhead, the walls shimmer with the reflections of tiny crustaceans, while amphipods and isopods scuttle in the darkness, invisible to the world above. These hidden structures are more than geological marvels. They are the silent architects of biodiversity. They offer refuge from predators, nurseries for the young, and hunting grounds for the patient. From the smallest nudie branch to the elusive six-gill shark, life here has adapted to the shadows, thriving in the shelter of stone and silence. The secret architecture beneath the Mediterranean is a reminder there is still much to discover, and countless stories yet untold. Within these ancient caves and mountains, the sea's oldest mysteries endure, guarded by the creatures who call them home. Beneath the waves, beyond the reach of even the smallest fish, an invisible world pulses with activity, one that shapes the fate of the entire Mediterranean. Here, in the sunlit shallows and drifting through the open blue, countless microscopic organisms form the foundation of all life. Phytoplankton, tiny plant-like cells, float freely, capturing sunlight and transforming it into energy through photosynthesis. These minuscule powerhouses release oxygen and generate nearly half the Mediterranean's supply. sustaining not only marine life but the world above. Their blooms, sometimes so dense they tint the water green or blue, mark the start of intricate food webs. Alongside them, single-celled algae cling to rocks and seagrass, carpeting underwater landscapes in vibrant greens and golds. Diatoms, coccolithophores and dinoflagellates, each with their own crystalline armor, drift with the currents, multiplying in the warmth of spring and summer. When conditions are just right, they explode in number, feeding swarms of zooplankton. These animal plankton, from translucent copepods to tiny jellyfish larvae, graze on the abundant algae. In turn, they become prey for fish fry, larval squid, and the young of countless species. The Mediterranean anchovy and sardine, fish that sustain entire fisheries, owe their existence to this microscopic feast. Some plankton glow with bioluminescence, lighting up the night sea in waves of blue. Others form chains and spirals, creating intricate patterns only visible under the microscope. Each is a marvel of adaptation, perfectly suited to the ebb and flow of Mediterranean currents. Even as they drift, these microorganisms play quiet but vital roles. They cycle carbon, sequestering it in the deep when they die and sink, moderating the climate over millennia. They recycle nutrients, fueling the next generation of growth, and when storms churn the sea, they mix the layers, bringing fresh supplies of life-giving minerals to the surface. Without these unseen engineers, the plankton and algae, the Mediterranean would be barren and silent. Instead, their tireless work sustains whales and tunas, corals and seagrass, and every creature in between. They are the invisible engine of life, the heartbeat of the sea, forever drifting on the currents that connect every living thing beneath the waves. Far below the surface, scattered across the Mediterranean seabed, lie silent witnesses to centuries gone by. Ancient shipwrecks, their wooden beams and metal hulls slowly succumbing to the embrace of the sea. Once vessels of exploration, trade and war, these sunken relics have long since surrendered their original purpose. But in their resting places, a remarkable transformation unfolds. The hard surfaces of these wrecks offer a rare foothold in a world of shifting sands and soft sediments. Here the first pioneers, colonies of barnacles, tube worms and encrusting sponges, anchor themselves to weathered timbers and corroded iron. Over time, vibrant carpets of algae and coralline red crust spread across planks and ribs, painting the wrecks in hues of green, pink and purple. These artificial reefs soon become magnets for marine life. Shoals of damselfish and wrasser weave through the tangle of beams, while octopuses slip into shadowy crevices, turning the wrecks into their secret lairs. Sea anemones sway gently in the currents, their tentacles providing shelter for tiny shrimp and juvenile fish. Even the elusive Mediterranean moray eel finds a home among the twisted remains, its yellow eyes peering from beneath rusted plates. As the years pass, the shipwrecks grow ever richer in life. Sponges and soft corals take hold, filtering water and providing food for grazing sea slugs. Crabs and lobsters scuttle across decks now blanketed in silt, while schools of sardines and breams swirl above in silvery clouds. Predatory groupers patrol the shadows, drawn by the abundance of smaller prey. Each wreck becomes a living oasis, a flourishing community that stands in stark contrast to the bare sand surrounding it. These artificial reefs enhance local biodiversity, offering new habitats where none existed before. They provide spawning grounds for fish, nursery spaces for the young, and safe havens from open-water predators. In the endless cycles of the Mediterranean, ancient shipwrecks have found a new purpose. No longer mere echoes of human ambition, they have become vital pillars in the architecture of marine life. Their transformation is a testament to nature's resilience and ingenuity, turning loss into opportunity and memory into thriving life beneath the waves. Beneath the tranquil surface of the Mediterranean, an ancient rhythm unfolds, a cycle shaped by the turning of the seasons. Each year the sea responds to the subtle dance of sunlight and wind, its waters shifting in color, temperature, and motion. As winter loosens its grip, spring breathes new life into the Mediterranean. Sunlight grows stronger, warming the upper layers and awakening vast blooms of microscopic plankton. These tiny drifters form the foundation of the food web, drawing swarms of small fish and in turn attracting larger predators. The water teems with energy. Shoals of sardines dart through the shallows while jellyfish pulse with renewed vigor, carried by gentle currents. With the arrival of summer, the sea transforms once more. Warm surface waters settle into a shimmering blue, and a sharp boundary forms between the sunlit upper layer and the cooler depths below, a phenomenon known as stratification. Many species take advantage of the balmy surface, while others retreat to the deeper, cooler refuge. Octopuses and cuttlefish become more elusive, seeking the shelter of rocky crevices. Schools of tuna and mackerel chase prey along the thermocline, riding the invisible frontier between warmth and cold. Autumn brings change again. Winds begin to stir and storms churn the surface, breaking down the summer's thermal barrier. Nutrients from the deep rise upward, fueling another wave of plankton growth. Marine life responds in kind. Anchovies and sardines gather in dense, swirling clouds, preparing for migration or spawning. Predatory groupers and barracudas become more active, taking advantage of the feast. Winter's chill descends, cooling the surface and driving dense water downward. This seasonal mixing rejuvenates the entire sea, redistributing oxygen and vital nutrients from top to bottom. Some species, like the dusky grouper, retreat to deeper waters, slowing their activity. Others, such as hardy crabs and sea stars, continue their search for food along the quiet seabed. Even the currents shift as the cold, salty water flows outward, subtly shaping the Mediterranean's connections to the wider ocean. Throughout these cycles, the sea's inhabitants adapt and thrive. The changing seasons orchestrate migrations, breeding and feeding, ensuring that life in the Mediterranean never stands still. In this ancient basin, time is measured not only in centuries and shipwrecks, but in the ceaseless pulse of spring's renewal, summer's warmth, autumn's bounty, and winter's quiet transformation, a timeless rhythm that binds all living things beneath the waves.